Alright, in this video, I'm just going to give an introduction to vector surface integrals. So just the big idea behind vector surface integrals. So up to this point, we've seen scalar line integrals, vector line integrals, of which we had two types, circulation and flux. We've seen scalar surface integrals, and now we're seeing vector surface integrals, but we only have flux vector surface integrals, and I'm going to tell you why in a moment. So imagine that we have some kind of surface as shown in this diagram, and the normal to the surface, I'm going to orient a few normals in green to this surface. So the surface has a very explicit outside and inside, and I'm orienting so that the normal vectors to the surface are pointing outward. So this is going to be an important element that we will need to address, but let's suppose that n is normal to S pointing outward. And so all that means is that we are deciding an orientation of our surface, right? Our surface can either have kind of an outside or an inside, and we're saying we're going to let we're going to call the part where we have a normal pointing, in this case, in that direction versus this direction, we're going to call that our positive orientation of our surface. And so this is pointing outward. Okay, and what we want to know is, okay, I have some kind of fluid that's flowing through, that's the vector field, and I want to know how much is going to flow through the surface. How do I count that up? Right, that is definitely a flux kind of question of how much is flowing through. Another way to think of this is that you have a stream and you have fish, little tiny fish in the stream, and they're flowing through this net, and you want to count up, well, how many of the fish are getting through and how many of the fish are you catching? So the net, though, has an inside and an outside. So we have a surface that has a chosen direction. So let's write that down. Let's write the idea that we have some kind of vector field, F. S has a chosen direction, and that's chosen by the direction of the normal. We'll say that the normal N points outward. And this is really, imagine a net, and that's your surface, and basically how much of the field is flowing through that net. So how much of F flows through the net? That's just a very general idea. So flows through our surface S. And we define this vector surface integral as a double integral over our surface, and we take our vector field and we take the dot product with the normal to the surface times a little area element. So this hopefully reminds you of our flux line integral. So recall that our flux line integral looks very, very similar. Flux line integral is an integral over a curve of our vector field dotted with the normal to the curve, and then we have a little arc length element. So this is arc length, and this is a surface area element. Because we're trying to see how much is going through a little patch of surface, right? Maybe that has this as the normal, and we have our vector field that might look like a vector from the vector field looks like this on that surface, but we want to know how much in that little tiny element as this little area gets smaller and smaller and smaller, how close are our vectors from the vector field to the normals on the surface. So that's what we're trying to measure. So the question we're asking is, at every point on our surface, are F and N pointing in the same direction? If they are, in general, right? Of course, we have many, many vectors, but same direction. The idea is if they are, we're going to get a positive flux. If they're pointing in generally opposite directions, we'll get a negative flux. And if the vectors in the vector field are generally perpendicular to our normal, we'll get zero flux. We've seen this before. So let's make this a little bit more explicit. Here, let's just say, okay, this curve right now, it's not a curve, it's actually a surface S. And if the normal that we choose is oriented outward this way, and we have a little vector from our vector field that looks like that, since this is a dot product and the angle between our normal and the vector field is less than pi over 2, then we should expect that the contribution for this little tiny little patch of surface of the dot product between f and n will be positive. On the other hand, if we have our outward normal maybe from the surface looks like this, and maybe one of my vector field vectors looks like that, and we have a 90-degree angle, then you can see that the vector field vector is not pointing at all in the direction of our normal. So we should expect in a situation like this, where the angle between the normal and the vector is 90 degrees, that the dot product would be equal to 0. And then one more example here. Let's suppose here's our surface S, there's our outward normal n, but vector from my vector field maybe points this way. And so you can see that this angle between n and f is greater than pi over 2, and because the dot product is the magnitude of f times magnitude of n times the cosine of the angle between these vectors, if that vector is obtuse, then we should expect that f dot n cosine will be negative, so this will be less than 0. So just to give you some idea of the meaning of these vector surface integrals, we are measuring flux, and we're measuring how much of the vector field points in the direction of the outward normal that we choose. In other words, how much of the vector field goes through across our surface.